So recently, I had a classmate of mine come up to me and ask, "Why haven't I done a comic recommending episode? And what comics would I suggest?" It got me thinking, why haven't I done a recommendation episode? I mean, there are a lot of good comics out there. And then it hit me. What if I do episodes on comics that aren't particularly in the spotlight? Some of these comics will be web comics, but they deserve some reading too. Now, I have to have some rules for these episodes to eliminate some bias on my part. I'm not saying any of these comics are good or bad. However, they will have something interesting to them in one way or another. Now, let's get started with today's episode. First on the list is Agents of the Realm. This webcomic, soon to be having a published version, is about five college women that gain amulets and powers to protect the world while they handle being college freshmen. Another thing to talk about is about how most of the main characters are actually minorities. This gives the comic a cool twist to what people think of most magical girl comics are about. So if you like comics where girls have magical powers or life in college slice of lives, read Agents of the Realm by Mildred Lewis. Next is AJ and Mangas by Brian and Simon Steele. AJ and Mangas follow the adventures of a young boy named AJ and his dog Mangus. The comic style is very similar to Calvin and Hobbes, and even comments on social issues just like Bill Watterson's comics. Some of the issues are talked about with AJ and his two dads. This shows how gay couples can raise a family and have comical hijinks just like any other family. So if you like child-based pranks, talking dogs, and comics that support the LGBTQA community, then AJ and Mangus is for you. Now we'll take a look at Undead Ed by Boardman, a webcomic on Webtoons. This actually comic just got finished and it is beautifully done, so I actually suggest you read this comic because it's really cool and funny. So in this comic, we follow the misadventures of a man named Ed after somehow he mysteriously dies and is stuck in his dead body. We get to follow Ed as he tries to figure out what he is and how he died. He even learns about supernatural things that he was oblivious to before. He meets ghouls, witches, vampires, and even some other zombies, if he considers himself that. If you're into supernatural creatures, goofy characters, then Undead Ed is your cup of tea. Now, we'll take a look at This One Summer by cousins Jillian and Mariko Tamaki. This story follows two young girls as they spend their summer together when they're at that age in their lives where they begin to learn and think about more mature ideas and topics. As these girls grow and mature a little more during this time, it reminds us of those days where we were stuck being a child and being a teenager. If you like slice of life stories about struggles of growing up, read This One Summer. Oh, and I highly recommend this one. I met Mariko and she is one cool cat, so go out and check out This One Summer. Now, the stories of these next ones are pretty well known, and I don't really want to talk about them because they're well known books, but the adaptations I'm going to be talking about aren't as well known as I hoped they would have been and are. So check out Daniel X and Maximum Ride by James Patterson, Dark Hunters and Dark Hunters Infinity by Cheryl Keenan. These are good stories in their original versions, but when they're put in the hands of those who work at Yen Press, it just becomes something more. And it's really cool to see how the written text becomes a manga in this way. And if you're really interested and you've read the original versions, I suggest you go out and pick up a copy or just find a copy to read. Well, that's it for this week. We're running out of time. First, I would like to formally apologize for being late. I've been sick most of this week, and I'm still fighting it. If you guys can't tell by my voice, my nose is very stuffy. So there's that, and I apologize for being late. But I'm also working on a project for one of my classes in college, and it's going to give you guys a behind the scenes look of the show. So look forward to that. That should be coming out within the next couple of weeks. But I also have some things I want to know. Do you guys think I should have music during the regular episodes while I talk, or keep it music free so it focuses on the discussion? Let me know in the comments down below, and I'll see you all next week.
I'm all cartoony, and it's hard to move. You did this to me. Why can't I be drawn in a kawaii anime style?
Understand these types, I would be referencing the breakdown presented by Scott McCloud, creator of Zot and writer of 12 issues of the Superman comics.